crew here, of course. So we're going to go ahead and let her get started. And thanks.
Thank you. Hello. Like she said, I'm Teri Hall. I am the owner of Made in Omaha and Midwest Fest, which was formerly Hutch Fest. I started my journey back in, 2016 with my previous business partners, Nick Hoff and Brandon Bede with Hutch. And I helped them open their Midtown Crossing location, and the three of us founded Hutch Fest back in 2016 at Midtown Crossing. And for those that aren't familiar with that event, it is a makers fair where we pull entrepreneurs and makers from all across the Midwest to come to our city for the day and sell their goods. And out of that event, we just saw such a supportive community for the local makers that we thought it would be a really great opportunity to open up a storefront for people that maybe don't have the resources to do it themselves. They might be part-time makers, full-time makers, but it does take a lot of time and resources to open up your own space. So we thought we could kind of be that bridge for them and give people a storefront that we would run ourselves and give them an opportunity to sell their goods to the Omaha community. And we opened our first location in October of 2018 in Countryside Village. We started out with 45 makers and have just now grown to 3 storefronts throughout Omaha, and we support over 100 makers from all over Nebraska. In 2020, during the pandemic, just as you would open a new store. So we signed our lease for our location in the Old Market in February of that year. And right, perfect timing. And luckily, we were able to kind of build up that space and get the doors open in that location in August of 2020. And then we decided to move out west, and we opened our 3rd location in 2021 in Shops of Legacy. And then in 2023, I actually bought out my business partners. So now I'm the sole owner of Made in Omaha, and thank you. And of Midwest Fest. And so it's been a very exciting ride from where I started to kind of where we are at now. And I'm very excited to have Kierra and Abe as part of my leadership team and really kind of helping me steer this crazy navigation of business and helping me throughout events and ideas and helping us propel forward. And we joined Elevator in 2023 as well, I think.
October.
Yeah. Yep. And have been very excited. We worked with Elevator in the past through Hutch Fest. They were a sponsor of ours. They've helped us just throughout that process. So we always knew of Elevator, and so as our business grew and we needed additional space, this was of course where we decided to turn to and have additional square footage for that. And so we're excited to be here with all of you guys, and thank you guys for hosting us and everything. So yeah, and I think Kierra can share a little bit about what we do here at Elevator.
Yep, so we're on the 4th floor. Come say hi. I'm there every day. Upstairs we launched our gift box program last year in October. So we've got corporate gift boxes, pre-made gift boxes online. So that's mainly what I do upstairs. And then we also fulfill all of our online orders upstairs. Right now I'm working with a specific company, Albine. So I send out a bunch of their corporate boxes every month and get all that stuff ready to go. We have 12 new pre-made gift boxes that are going to be launched soon.
Coffee subscription box. Lots of little fun things in the works.
Lots of stuff. You can create your own online as well. We've got a pantry one. If you create your own, you can put a t-shirt in there. We're doing a coffee box, so we've got a coffee syrup party. And then we've got a little mini pouch of coffee from Reboot, and a mug that'll go in that one. And what else? We've got an apothecary box. Lots of options.
Welcome.
And we're doing a welcome home.
welcome home box. That's as well that we work with. Our gift box program we've been doing it for a really long time, but like Kierra said, in 2023, now that we have this space that we were able to kind of grow our business with, we decided that we wanted to kind of elevate what we were already doing. So especially during the holiday time, we have been working with businesses really since 2019, where we'll put together gift boxes for their clients or gift boxes for just, teammates or whoever that they want to send out like holiday specific items. So there would be times that we were shipping out 300 to 400 boxes every day, and which was a lot of cardio for us. Our old market store, we have a basement, which is great. We store a lot of stuff down there, but then having to take all those boxes upstairs and then call the UPS man and be like, hello, come and pick us up. And he was like always like loved when we switched over to him, but like it was also, it would take over. And so this was just like a great opportunity for us to also be here, where it's like one-stop shop to be able to say, with everything packaged up, it's the logistics is already kind of taken care of for us. But we really decided to kind of elevate our gift box offerings and make it something where people could buy already pre-made ones on our website, because sometimes we'll get people from like UNMC or just different organizations that's just like, I have a budget that's $50. What could you put together for me? And we'd be happy to like pull together options for them. But it's also nice to be able to send them onto our website and say, hey, these are already made up. It's probably something already in your budget. Like you could just purchase it on there, or to send something to someone, from across the US, maybe someone that's missing, Nebraska or missing Omaha, and you could send them a care package. We have a happy birthday one and things like that. And we really kind of pivoted to that specifically during the pandemic. So when that hit and all the stores, and everything kind of shut down, that was something that I pitched back in March of 2020 to our business partners and said we really should come up with something that's going to be able to keep us afloat and keep us going while our stores were shut down. And so we created some care packages and we marketed those, and we shipped out probably like 50 of those a day. Like we just kept getting orders in, and my husband knows that he would come in with me and I would be like packaging them up, because I'm like, we have to get them out before the UPS comes and like gets them at noon. And so it was really fun to be able to see like how many people were utilizing that service, but we also kept so many small businesses afloat during that time too. So we were able to keep ordering from people, and we had so many of our makers be like, thank you so much for being able to continue to order from us during this time, because, as you guys all remember, that was a trying time for a lot of businesses and things like that. So we were really happy to be able to pivot and do that. And that kind of spawned, our love of being able to put together packages and things like that. And so now with our new gift box program, we're able to kind of elevate that and make it a little bit more special and unique. And we're excited to kind of continue to build on that. So if you're ever in need of something, we're here to help or with that. So yeah, there's a lot of fun ideas online. So yeah.
Can I ask what percentage of your sales are online versus in store, and how has that like trended over time since you guys over the past 3 years, and what do you see going forward?
Yeah, that's a great question. So right now our percentage of business that is online, it's a small percentage. So we don't have like a huge, online reach. It's probably about 10% of our business. But that's also just like average. Holiday time, it definitely, kicks up. November, December, especially not just with like sending out corporate gifts or things like that, but just people ordering online just in general really kind of takes off. So, that definitely creeps more into that 20 to 25% of the range. So you'll definitely see Kierra here more and more. So if you want to help her, no, I'm just joking. She'll always take some help. But so we'll definitely start to get busier with that aspect during that time. We have some really fun things in the works with just some different people we're partnering with in Omaha. We've rebranded since I've taken over as the sole owner, and just kind of like revamped our website, built a whole new site, rebranded Midwest Fest, built a whole new site for that. And our partner with that is Chris from Shape Society. So Chris LaCroix, he works with a ton of businesses here in Omaha. He's actually been working with Visit Omaha as well and helping them with their website and the Visit Omaha campaign with like the little pins that you can get and like go around, and that's like part of his brainchild. So he's very talented, and he's been helping us with just being able to build better sites and work on our SEO and really kind of do things like that. So we're excited for him to kind of help us propel our online business forward, because that's definitely something that we're not equipped with. Like he'll talk to us in meetings about like SEO and stuff, and we're just like over our heads, like we just don't get it. But like he's breaking it down, and slowly we're learning more and more about that. So but I do think like having like elevator here and everything like that's been able to help us kind of grow that business as well. So it's been nice.
Yeah. What are some of your like failures that you've encountered and lessons you've learned from those failures?
I think so failures, I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously we have failures, so I'm just like, I don't want to be like, I have no failures, I'm perfect.
Because usually it's like, well, there's successes, but no one talks about the failures.
Yeah.
And that's where you learn some valuable lessons.
Yeah.
We branded ourselves with MIO, and we have our smiley, we put that on some products. It hasn't caught on yet, so we have people coming into our store being like, what is MIO? We're like, made in Omaha.
Yeah.
It's kind of cute. And they're
We like it.
okay. So that's kind of been like establishing our brand still. It's definitely through color. It's through just the essence of being in the store, I think really helps with that. But we're working on that mark. So I think we're getting there for sure. Yeah, I think it's just like one of those things where it's just, you kind of sometimes take a leap of like, maybe you think that this sweatshirt design that you guys are like so passionate about, and you're like, yes, everyone's gonna want it, and then you bring it in like nobody buys it, and you're like, haha, so it's like, and you have to think about too, like it's not just, I do most of the buying for our stores. I do a lot of the curation, but obviously like we're constantly texting with each other and being like, do you guys like this? What do you think of this? And like sometimes we have to think it's not just us, right? So it's like, even though like we love it and like we would want to wear it, and maybe we'll just buy it on ourselves, but like I don't know, so you have to really kind of think about that. And I think for us, like also like making sure we don't lean too feminine either. So I think as a brand, like we always had this like thing of like, what's our unofficial color made in Omaha? We're always like pink. And so, but we're like, we need like, so we're always trying to take a step back and make sure that we're not like alienating that, or making sure that people, realize that like we have things for everyone. It's not just, like for the girls or for the women and things like that. So we have things for everyone there too. So.
No, I don't think this is a failure, but I think at first, like opening our first location, we got nervous. Like it's just a steady growth, and I think you get kind of nervous at first, like, oh, is this a good idea?
Right.
And our countryside store is probably our busiest location, and it's also our smallest location, which is great during holiday time. But it's crazy to see, like, especially like we started off with like 8 t-shirts, and now we have over 50. So it's just that every year you're like, wow, like. Look how far we came.
Right, look how far we came. And then I think too, just like myself of like learning so much of like when I've taken the business on solely, my other business partners, they were great in so many different aspects, but they definitely like Made in Omaha was always my baby, and Midwest Hutch Fest was always my baby. And so like there's definitely things that like I was already, and they know this, but I was always doing like 95% of like everything for it. But then it's like that 5% of like that back end things, like learning and like figuring out on my own, I think has been very like stressful at times, or, and things like that, where it's like, oh, okay, so it is important to be doing X, Y, Z, or like, things like that. And so it's just learning and taking all those things on, and making sure that, I have everything in line financially, and then also operationally in the store and everything too. So yeah.
What's your vision for Made in Omaha 3.0? I don't know what it is, right?
Yeah.
And particularly, I'm also wondering, like, in terms of retail locations, do you envision having more retail locations? If so, do you mind sharing, what areas of the city you're like, you're being eyeing generally?
Yeah. So I think right now we are not in we don't have any plans currently to open any additional stores. I think that we don't want to oversaturate the market, and we also don't want to kind of, not like pull some of our customer base from one to the other. And so we're really just trying to be really kind of careful of like where we want to move and things like that, and open up new locations. There are talks of doing things with the airport expansion or like working on things that way. And so like for me, like that would be really exciting to be able to take on and do and be a part of. So I think that is definitely something that like is on our radar and something we're working on. But I think as far as like other retail locations in Omaha, unless if we were doing like a little pop-up or something like that, but we have eyes on like, I think there's a lot of people and movement going on in Elkhorn right now with Coneflower kind of opening up and all these other local businesses kind of coming out there. So, that's always something where we're like, that could be interesting to kind of see, out there and everything too. So we're always looking, but right now there's no definite plans. Our biggest thing, I think, for us as a team is we really want to grow and build upon our gift box program. So I think that's definitely something where we're really leaning a lot of our energy into and really kind of promoting and pushing and working with businesses throughout Omaha and kind of getting our names out there for options and kind of building that part of our business up. And then obviously focusing on our event, Midwest Fest, now moving from annual event to now doing it twice a year. So we're doing a summer edition and then we're also doing a holiday edition in partnership with the Riverfront. So that's also taking up some of our time as well. So we don't want to overstretch. We do a lot of like, what do we think about this? And like, none of us want to stop, so we're always like, one of us will have a crazy idea and I don't think either one of us will say, no, I think we should wait. It's like, oh yeah, we should do that. We could do that. So, which is a good thing, but also can be a bad thing. But I think we're just really this next like year or two is really trying to focus on those two things. So yeah, we don't want to stretch ourselves too thin. Yeah.
I want to vote for the airport location.
Yes, thank you.
We're always buying. We need to buy a gift on our way out.
Yeah.
And the gift options there leave a little bit desired. So I think you guys would be a great fit.
Thank you. Yeah. And why not, if you're already buying Omaha and Nebraska souvenirs, why not support the local community while you're doing it? And there's so many people doing great things. So yeah. Yes.
If somebody came to you and was like, I want to be a maker and I want to make something I can sell at the store, what product would you recommend to do?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we're constantly looking for makers. I think that we're always, going to events or going to the farmers markets or people on Instagram. Like we're just like, or somebody might be like, oh, have you seen this person? Like we're like, no. Like so, I think we're always looking for people. I think that the area right now that we're seeing kind of dwindle, which I think is really interesting, is pantry items. Some of our like makers have like either stopped doing it or are moving to like Kansas or just like things like that. And so like our food offerings is kind of getting a little sad. So if you want to make soup, that's like a big seller. And I was like, if you're looking to mustards, barbecue sauce, we just like literally within the last like 2 months, we've lost like 4 of our pantry staple people. And so that's just been very interesting of like kind of just, through either, moving to different city or just deciding that, their passion isn't there anymore, things like that. But I think one thing that we're also really concentrating on this year is you only can have one is, we're only such a big store, right? So
oversaturate.
We can't, we don't want to oversaturate and we can't carry everything as much as we'd love to. Like our countryside store is like 800 square feet and like during the holiday season, it's our busiest storefront. So like we also just get so many people in there and I only can like make it all fit certain ways. But some things that we're kind of looking at doing is just like paring down a little bit on like collections that we've carried from certain makers in the past to make room for other makers in that category. So that way we're able to also carry more people in that specific thing. So, like if we're looking for instead of having maybe like 4 signature candle makers, kind of paring down on what we've been carrying on some people, and then like being able to have 6, but like also make it so we're not oversaturated, so everyone in our space is also feeling successful as well. So, and those are always like failures. Like you never know. Like you're like, oh, if I pare down on this, like, you know, is this going to be bad? Yeah. So that's always like a thing too. So, but you can fill out an application online. We do have an application on there that you can submit to anyone that wants to be a maker. And we just kind of go through that. Yeah. You're like, you're just asking. I'm just putting you on the spot. Like, yeah, just go ahead and make something. But yeah, I mean, there's also always like, I think that we also do a few in-house designs of things ourselves. So just things that maybe people aren't kind of doing. We try to like, if we come up with an idea, I really try to push my makers to be like, hey, have you ever thought about doing it this way? Or like, I've had like Heartlandia, who they've now been a maker with us for a couple of years, but they started out just like kind of pitching stickers to me. And I was like, yeah, some of these designs would be really cool, and like a magnet or a koozie, or have you thought about this? And they were probably just like, I just wanted to sell you my stickers, and now you're like asking me to make you a whole line, and now they are, and it's great. And so, but sometimes it's been really fun to kind of see the evolution of makers and being some people's very first stockists. Are my friend Meg from Milk and Daisy. We were her very first stockist, and she also was on the Today Show. So she won like this, not won, but like she was featured over the pandemic. And that was really cool of being like a business that was able to survive during the pandemic. And they featured her, and she shot in our store. And then we actually had our youngest maker was a 5th grader who did watercolors. And unfortunately her and her family moved to New Mexico, so we couldn't carry her stuff anymore. But it's just really fun to like also have like really young entrepreneurs in our space, and so many people are so talented. So I can't make anything. I can make stuff look beautiful, but I can't make anything. So
What are some of the most common mistakes you have watched collectively? So all of you can chime in. But the most common mistakes that makers make.
That's hard. I feel like
you're a maker. What was mistakes?
I make no mistakes. So.
Yeah, she's like burning myself. Yeah.
I think it's hard, especially with some of the people that we've had from the beginning. Is like they know it works, so they keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like they just expand it a little bit. Like people might like a new product from you, but I mean, I do it like it works. It's safe, so you're gonna keep doing that. So I think that's kind of been like. Not an issue, but it's like, hey, got any new stuff?
What about the candles that get recalled because
well, not recall.
Oil?
Those are just like,
I guess also like new, like when I was starting out, like I did it one way and that might not have, it didn't work out that way. So I switched my route and started doing other things. So I think it's just like, everyone's business is so different. So it's a learning curve for everyone.
Yeah.
For
And I think too, like, I think knowing your market as well. I think sometimes like, like the market could be oversaturated with like a certain type, and like that's hard to like tell somebody too of like, oh, like, because it's their passion, it's what they're excited about doing. So I would never be like, you shouldn't do that product anymore so I think it's just like also thinking about that too, like what maybe your people aren't doing already in Nebraska, or what are something that, is missing, and maybe seeing if that's something that like you could kind of make, or because you want to give, the people something that they haven't already seen before. And I think that's one thing that we're really trying to like work with a lot of our makers on is just, like, do you have any new products, or like what else are you kind of doing? So it's not just kind of the same things, year after year too. So, because that keeps people coming back to us, right? Like, so if it's like, oh, I only come to you during holiday season because I get my gifts, because like it's the same stuff. So it's like, yeah. So how are we continuing to bring new products in or new stuff for the makers? So,
I mean, a small little thing, we have to be the bearer of bad news with Husker designs.
Yeah.
You have to get licensing for that.
So take notes.
Yeah, take notes.
Yeah, take notes. If that's what,
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to tell a maker after they just pour their heart into a design that it's not licensed, and we will get in trouble for carrying those products.
Yeah.
So
and we don't want them to get in trouble either.
No. So if they can take that design, rework it, go through a printer that we have who is licensed. I mean, it's a small thing, but being in Nebraska, it's more common. But
that's a really good, because we actually got connected with our license through another maker where I was like, hey, I know you're getting Husker stuff printed. Like, who are you using? And it's like also for us being able to share that with our makers too, and like, hey, I didn't see the TM on that. Like, I don't see the trademark. Like, did you get permission through the university? Like, have you talked to this person yet? And they're like, no. And I was like, okay, come back to us when you have,
here's the contact.
Yeah, here's the contacts. Good luck with that. And same thing with like CWS and things like that. So it's like really paying attention to those types of things. And like, honestly, it's like, I think it's one of those things when we first opened, we didn't know or pay attention to. We're just like, oh yeah, this person is selling a really cute Husker shirt. Like, let's bring it on. And like, luckily, like, we didn't really have any problems with that at the beginning, but I do know that there's been people that have had their like, they've had to pull their products from like their storefronts and things like that. So it's like, they're out there looking. So you're trying not to get them into trouble. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Wait, so a follow up on that last question. Like, so you can't have like a Husker shirt or whatever without the permission. It sounds like some people do that anyways to sell it. Like, do they get in trouble, or is it like you gonna pay a fine, or is it just like, oh, you just pull your shirts from the inventory?
I think that's a great question.
Style.
Yeah. I know that like the Husker, like I know the university, so they have certain channels you have to go through. So some things are like trademarked, some things aren't. Some things you just like might have to like we've had to rework our end slightly on things, or they're just like, okay, you can't use that same end font, but if you changed it slightly, you won't have to get it trademarked and you won't have to use a specific licensee. So like you could just make it, but there's also terms of like, no place like Nebraska, like that's trademarked and you can't use it without their permission. Go Big Red. Like, same thing with like CWS, like Greatest Show in Dirt. Like you can't use those terms without like getting that trademark approval. So if they catch you, most of the time they're going to tell you to stop selling it, and then you're going to be stuck with this product. And
they'll send you a letter.
Yeah, they'll send you a letter. And like we haven't had to deal with any of that issues like in our store, like with any of our. But I have had people that are like, oh yeah, like we were selling this, and well, the Rose guy, but yeah, so like, yeah, so we haven't had to deal with like that from the university standpoint. So, cause we go through a certain, printer here in Omaha, ArtFX, and they have a license to be able to do that, and with Creighton and things like that. So as long as they're like printing it for you and they have that information on there. So yeah.
I have a question about pricing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that an issue? Do you have to work hard to like be able to nail down the pricing so that you can sell it and it moves?
Mm-hmm.
You can have the profit margin that you're looking for and the maker happy. Does that require a lot of back and forth, or do you find that people are usually pretty from the get-go they're price sensitive?
Yeah, I feel like from the get-go people are pretty price sensitive. I think that I think we've been working with some people enough that like whether or not, because when we very first started Made in Omaha, we did everything on consignment. So we bought things out, or we asked for a certain amount of quantities, and then we would cut people checks every month of what we sold. So we didn't actually like own their inventory up front. After we opened, I think the second store, I think we were going to open the third store. I was like, this is too much. And also like, it was just, I was like, we also cannot ask these makers to give me thousands of dollars of merchandise and not, give them anything up front for that either. So we quickly switched over to wholesale, which was great for my sanity and others. But I think that, yeah. And, I think a lot of people they've been doing it for a while. So I think they understand the wholesale market. Sometimes when people are new, we get a lot of questions with that. So we definitely will help them through that and, kind of tell them kind of what other people are selling it as, or what they're giving it to us as, or giving them, hey, like maybe talk to so-and-so, like they'd be a great contact for you and things like that. So also just giving them our expertise and kind of helping guide them through that. And then also giving them like, hey, like if you've never met this person, like I feel like that person would be a good contact for you to talk with about it. So yeah.
Can I ask how you keep your vendors straight? Like, is there a specific software you use?
We use Square for point of sale and like back end as well.
Okay.
Which has been it's been great.
It's been good. Yeah. We started out with Shopify. So Shopify was our first point of sale, and then we were just it really just came down to the e-commerce, and then also the point of sale, like everything, and this sounds silly, but everything was Bluetooth connected. And sometimes our Wi-Fi is not the best in our locations. And so the barcode scanner wouldn't connect, and you had to type in everything manually.
Right.
And that was just like too much, like during holiday and like trying to get people out and they're staring at you and you're like typing in like 7 different things and like memorize stuff and like, and then all their products. And so we were like, we need a hardwired like system that like something that's going to be a scanner, it's going to be like connected, and like even like card readers. Like, so we just were like, and they didn't offer that. And they're like, yeah, Bluetooth. We're like, no, that's not working for us. So we switched over to Square, and we've been really happy. I mean, it's always a learning curve when you go from like one to the other.
Right.
But now we're getting the hang of it a couple years later.
We have a spreadsheet. It's on Canva, but we have a little doc for like all of our staff that has like slideshows of all the makers, which is helpful, I think, for anyone new that's coming in that might not be like well versed in the local community.
Yeah.
But
for them to like look up in case if someone asks like, oh, who makes this? Or like, can you tell me where this person's from? You could be like, yes, let me pull this up. Okay, Lincoln. Like, you know, like, so you could kind of pull that up and be able to share that with them. So.
So how big is your team? And then what are some of your like aspirations for the future at Omaha?
Okay.
Yeah, we've got 15 people on staff now, which is crazy because we started with 3. 15? 18? 18.
Does that include
we can count Corey.
Okay,
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
We obviously don't know. No, we just hired some new people on, so we're like trying to count them in. We're like, okay, let me think of my spreadsheet. Yeah.
Aspirations. I feel like things are great right now. It's been really nice I've been with Made Omaha from the get-go, so it's been really nice to kind of get more involved in the maker community, and you know, you get to know people really well, and also just see how their businesses grow. I think keep doing what we're doing, you know?
Yeah, we were able to I think the cool thing is we've been able to add just some like different jobs within this last like year of like bringing on my husband Corey as our full-time woodworker for Made in Omaha Midwest Fest. So he's building 40 wooden huts for the holiday event. So thank you for that, sir. And then fixtures and things like that. And then we were just able to promote one of our part-time sales associates to a full-time position. She just graduated high school, and so she's college. Oh my God, I did not mean high school. Well, I would sorry, thank you. College. And yeah, she's now going to be our store experience lead. And so we're just excited to have some new things in place and be able to kind of continue to grow our team and the customers and things like that. So, yeah.
Can you share some more details about the holiday market that you guys are putting on?
Yes. So we are throwing a holiday market in conjunction with the Riverfront. So it's going to be December 14th and 15th. It's going to be a free event. It's going to be down at the Riverfront, which is where Midwest Fest was held this past year. And we're really excited about it. It's going to be a smaller market for us in regards to vendors. So we're going to be showcasing 40 vendors for our first year, and they're all going to be vending out of these wooden huts that Corey is building. We really wanted to bring something to the holiday season that Omaha doesn't have, and we're all just really inspired by the holiday markets that are throughout the world. And Corey and I went to New York and Boston last year and kind of checked out some of their markets and kind of got a feel of what they were doing. And I had a crazy idea of like, hey, do you think you could build these? And he was like, sure, but I'd have to work for you full time. Like, I can't do this in my spare time. And so we were just kind of like chatting about different things, and we're really excited to have our vendors vend out of those. And then in addition, the Riverfront really just has the best layout in regards for a holiday event. They have the ice skating rink, they have their giant holiday tree. We're going to be having some ice sculpting competitions going on. Reindeers will be there. Santa, lots of fun things, lots of, warm, delicious food and beverages that we're going to be curating and things like that. So really excited to bring just like a different, like same, but like a different twist of a market to the downtown area. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Yeah. Thank you. We're excited.
It's weird to already plan like.
We were out there with the Riverfront team. We were like sweating after the 4th of July, and we're like, it's holiday. We're just thinking about Christmas time, and yeah, it should be really fun. So we're excited for that. Yeah. Great.
Do we have any other questions?
So, last question. What can Elevator do, and what can the community do to help you guys out?
I think continuing to support local is great. If you ever want to come help me pack up some boxes. I think Abe can attest to this. Social media is just such a big thing right now. So we're doing the most that we can to support all of our makers, sharing posts, posting about the things that they're doing, also posting about like things that are going on in the community and in Omaha and like our favorite places to go. We just tried that new rolled ice cream in the Inner Rail. He's 19. Started his own business. Yeah. It was delicious.
Yeah,
it's
really good.
Yeah. Message us on Instagram if you guys have makers or you see things and you're like, oh, it would be cool to see your guys' presence there.
Yeah.
We're always looking. I field those and then chat with them about that. So
yeah,
we try to check that often.
Yeah.
Every moment we can. So hit us up.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So we are super thankful that you were willing to talk tonight. This is a little gift on behalf of Elevator.
Thank you.
And of course, we're thankful for having you here, and we're thankful for this event. And thank you to everybody that came tonight.
Yes,
So
thank
feel
you
free to
guys.
mingle,
Thank you.
have another drink, and have a big